10 years. That's how long the Indiana Fever went without winning a playoff series. For a franchise that once carried the weight of Tamika Catchings, the drought was heavy. And yet, in a hostile arena, missing 6 key players, they rewrote their story in one furious night. With Aaliyah Boston's clutch layup and Lexi Hull's steal that stopped time, Indiana didn't just win. They shocked the league back to attention. When you talk about the Fever, you can't ignore the years of frustration. Since 2015, every season ended the same way. Early exits, disappointment, rebuilding. Fans kept waiting for the spark that never came. That pressure doesn't sit in a stat sheet. It hangs in the locker room. It stalks every possession. In Game 3 against Atlanta, the Fever weren't just fighting for survival. They were fighting ghosts from the past. And this time, they decided to punch back. Caitlin Clark, the rookie face of the league, sidelined. Sophie Cunningham, a shooter with edge, gone for the year. Veterans Sydney Colson and Ari McDonald, also unavailable. That's 6 players stripped from the rotation, the kind of injury list that normally buries a team, but the Fever refused excuses. Instead, they leaned into chemistry. Everyone left on the court knew they'd need to give more than their share. From the opening tip, it was clear. If Indiana was going down, they'd go down swinging. Kelsey Mitchell was that tone. She poured in 24 points, 19 of them before halftime, keeping Indiana alive while Atlanta's crowd smelled blood. Every drive looked like a dare. Every jumper a lifeline. The Dream packed the paint, threw double teams, tried to choke her space. Mitchell didn't flinch. She drove, dished, even blocked shots when the lane collapsed. Leaders aren't defined by easy nights. They're defined when pressure stacks. Mitchell's pulse carried the Fever through chaos. Aaliyah Boston may still be early in her career, but her game reads like a veteran's. She dropped 14 points, grabbed 12 rebounds, and handed out 6 assists, every stat earned in traffic. But the highlight came with 7.4 seconds left, when she muscled past her defender for the go-ahead layup. That shot wasn't just points. It was poise, footwork, and belief, all rolled into one. Boston wasn't waiting for someone else to deliver. She did it herself, sealing the kind of bucket legends are built on. Sometimes, the game tests your patience. For Lexi Hull, shots clanged all night. Rhythm refused to come. But when the game hung in the balance, she buried a corner 3 to breathe life into her team. And then the steal. With 7 seconds left, Atlanta set up for a season-saving inbound. Hull read it perfectly, jumped the lane, and ripped the ball away. Just like that, the decade-long drought was done. In one swoop, a frustrating shooting night turned into the signature moment of her career. Odyssey Sims gave Indiana a spark nobody saw coming. 16 points, 8 assists, fearless drives that broke down Atlanta's defense. Natasha Howard fought for rebounds that had no business belonging to Indiana. Brianna Turner and Shea Petty stepped in, contesting shots, knocking down timely looks, giving the Fever backbone when foul trouble threatened to crack them. Every piece of the roster chipped in. This wasn't star power, it was survival power. The Gateway Center Arena was rocking. Nearly 4,000 fans screaming, every whistle cutting like a blade. Indiana had every reason to fold. Instead, they closed the game on a 7-row run. Possession by possession, they chipped away until the only sound left was disbelief. The same team that had been buried under bad officiating in Game 1 used that bitterness as fuel in Game 2. This time, no phantom whistles. Just execution, grit, and composure. Las Vegas. The champions. The Standard. Aja Wilson. Chelsea Gray. Jackie Young. A roster stacked with killers. Becky Hammon, their coach, didn't sugarcoat it. They haven't seen the real aces yet. That's the mountain Indiana now faces in a best-of-5 war. To survive, the Fever will need more than heart. They'll need consistency, adjustments, and the same refusal to fold they showed in Atlanta. If Mitchell stays hot, if Boston controls the paint, if Hull's defense translates, this isn't a mismatch. It's a fight. Picture the scene. The buzzer sounds. The Fever players don't sprint off the floor. They collapse into each other. Kelsey Mitchell, usually all business, cracked into a wide smile, tears mixing with sweat. Aaliyah Boston sat at her locker in silence, the game ball still in her hands, soaking in the history she just helped change. Lexi Hull held that same ball high when cameras rolled in, grinning as if she'd just stolen more than a pass. She'd stolen back a decade of frustration. Veterans like Odyssey Sims and Natasha Howard, players who've been tossed between teams, felt validation. For them, this wasn't just a playoff win. It was proof that their fight mattered, their minutes counted, and their names belonged on the biggest stage. Even Caitlin Clark, stuck in street clothes, was waving towels and shouting louder than anyone on the bench. Her post-game all-caps fever show message said it all. Even when sidelined, she was part of the heartbeat. This wasn't a lucky break. It was a family moment, and the locker room felt more like a celebration of survival than just another win. For the league, this game was bigger than the bracket. The Fever's return to relevance is the kind of storyline that lifts the entire WNBA. Ratings, rivalries, narratives, they thrive on comebacks like this. Think about it, a once proud franchise dismissed as a rebuild, now surging past expectation. Add in the drama of injuries, officiating controversies, and that last-second steal, and suddenly fans have a reason to believe anything can happen in these playoffs. And for the Aces, the warning is clear. Indiana isn't just happy to be here. They're carrying momentum, belief, and a chip on their shoulder the size of the league itself. The WNBA has been waiting for a true underdog story that could capture casual viewers. The Fever just delivered one. Now the question is whether this run becomes a Cinderella spark or the opening act of a dynasty reborn. The Indiana Fever didn't just survive. They resurrected. 10 years of waiting ended with a group most people counted out. Injuries, doubt, road noise. None of it mattered. What mattered was resilience, belief, and one perfect steal. But here's the real question. Was Atlanta just the warm-up, or has Indiana finally found its identity as a contender? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, this is just the beginning.